Hello and welcome to Sacred Cards. Today I'm coming at you with an update to my Dinosaur deck profile for July 2024. I hope you've all been well. I know it's been a little while, but just because I haven't been posting does not mean I haven't been busy. I've just been spending a lot of time testing and making sure that I'm satisfied with all the deck profiles that I show on the channel. As all of you know, I love dinos, as I wanted to have a bit of discussion on a few things that I'll mention throughout the profile. There are a lot of ways to play the deck these days. It's so versatile. People are trying lots of new ideas, and I've seen it all from the Nemesis Thunder Dragon, Scrap Package, True Kings, and my favorites are those who really try to make pure Transcendosaurus Xeno builds. Personally, I wish there was more of a way to play a pure Dino variant, but unfortunately we need these other engines and packages to make the deck able to compete and maintain consistency. Also, the deck still relies heavily on having non-dinos for double evolution pill targets. So as I go here, I'll ask for some input from all of you, as I'd love to hear from others in the community. So with all that said, let's get right into it. Starting off, of course, with the deck's #1 starter, triple copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. When normal or special summon, you can take a dino from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can also target a level 4 lower dino on the field, destroy it, then special summon a dino from grave in defense position. And then following that up, I have a single copy of Misk and one copy of Kaitotera. Misk is the ultimate form of protection. During the main phase quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, make your dino monsters unaffected by the activated effects of your opponent, while also being able to banish any number of dino monsters from your graveyard, special summon a dino from the deck with a number equal with a level equal to the number you banished. Kaitotera is great because during the main phase, you can add a copy of Poly from deck to hand, and if you do banish it, special summon it, and then you can return Polymerization from your graveyard back to your hand. Now, this card has taken place of Giant Rex here in most cases, which brings me to our first topic of discussion. Personally, I miss having Rex in the deck, so I've considered testing with it. But my issue is it's one of those kind of nice to have but not necessary kind of things. It is an earth monster which has synergy with Lithosagem, assuming you're playing that. And Ultimate Conductor, obviously, it helps make rank 4s, but it's not part of the main combo and a card you don't really need to see. So let me know what your thoughts are on if we should bring Rex back or not. Next, we have the baby dinos, triple copies of baby Ceratosaurus, one of the most versatile cards in the whole deck. Not once per turn. If it's destroyed by card effect, you can special summon a level 4 lower dino from the deck. We have many ways to abuse this effect, so 3 copies is mandatory in my opinion. Following that up is 2 copies of Petit Pteranodon. Similar to Baby Ceratosaurus, though, if it's destroyed, you can special a level 4 higher dino from the deck, which is great for accessing Xenometeorus, Pancratops, or things like that. And of course, we have 2 copies of Animadorn Archosaur. Great card. We usually summon this off our copy of Misk, or we can normal summon it as well. This card plus another baby is full combo. Check out my combo video for this deck if you haven't already. 2 copies is perfect, and it's great for accessing your copies of Double Evolution Pill. I should say, now next topic of discussion, what are your thoughts on bringing back Overtex Coatlas? It's definitely another card I miss personally, as it was always easy to get out of your hand to get access to Double Evolution Pill, and if you did special summon it, the spell trap negation is nice, but similar to Giant Rex, it doesn't feel necessary, but rather than having something that rather having something that could come up or nice to have, even sending it for cost for things like Droplet. You can search the deck, so I'm up in the air on it. Personally, I want to include Rex and Quatless, but the deck is very tight with space, and you want to maximize on seeing the cards that can push you the furthest. So I appreciate those of you sticking around for my opinions, and definitely let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from the community. We love this deck, and if you don't want to hear me ramble, just skip to the next card. So now, dinos do grow up, so of course we have our 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I like to think that this ratio is something that most everyone can agree on. The card is too good to not play. 3 copies is a bit much, as seeing 2 of these in your opening hand doesn't do us a world of good unless we open really well. Amazing boss monster, destroying and banish cards that can special summon themselves, or plus is huge for the deck. One of my favorite cards of all time. Next is a single copy Pankratops and 1 copy of the Mad Flame Kaiju. Right now, I really enjoy this ratio, but it does bring up my next point of discussion. I noticed everyone seems to have their own preference to these quote-unquote going second cards. For example, we like to go first in most cases, but you can't win every die roll, so they can be incredibly powerful. I've considered bumping Pankratops up to 2, just so we have 3 cards to break boards. Though when Pank went to 2, most Dino players continue to insist that 1 copy is fine. I suppose it's all up to personal preference, but I thought I'd ask you all, as I noticed others are starting to play Pankratops at 2 copies, or would you play 3 copies if it came off the ban list? I just might, so who knows. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that. Right now, 1 Pank and 1 Kaiju has been good throughout testing, although you can cut the Kaiju if you want to try and save space. So rounding off the dinos, of course, we have 1 copy of Xeno Meteorus and 1 copy of Frostosaurus. Really great package, as Meteorus is super easy to access with cards like Ground Xeno, Petit Pteranodon, Fossil Dig. If it's in your hand during a chain where a card is destroyed, you can special summon it while having the ability to destroy a card you control to special summon Frost from the deck, being a level 6 tuner. It's great for Synchro and XZ's plays. And finally, the searchable non-dino of choice is a single copy of Lithosagem. I don't love it, but the way I like to play the deck right now, it is essential. You can search this with our copy of Diagram, which we can easily access that, or Lost World with Hornsaurus. It does make me want to play more Earth targets, like possibly more Pankratops, or adding a copy of level 4 normal Sabersaurus. But at the end of the day, it's a 2-card package that I'd rather not play, but it does push the deck ceiling. Like I said, I've definitely considered playing the Nemesis cards with Colossus, or even the scrap package, but I am biased in the sense that I wish I could play more of a pure dino strategy. And but that's the best part about Yu-Gi-Oh! I can, if I want to, when it all comes down to it, play the cards that make you happy or satisfied. But that being said, I do like to build decks that are able to compete. And finally, my hand traps of choice are 3 copies of Ash Blossom and 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Now, great cards, and you can fill these 6 slots with anything you like. Personally, I can find it difficult playing a good balance of disruption cards while maintaining consistency without going over 40 in this deck. I'm at 42 for this build, but 40 if you cut Rex and Quatless. But I think for a deck like this, playing up to even 45 cards is fine. I'm often struggling with optimizing this ratio, so help me out if you'd like to share your input. Now, speaking of consistency, I am playing the 3 Pot of Prosperity. This is kind of another dino staple. This is one I was considering switching out for maybe Effect Veiler or Droplet, but I think dinos need that consistency to succeed more often than not, so I think 3 copies of Prosperity is perfect for that. And another staple in the dino strategy, of course, triple copies of Fossil Dig. Beautiful secret rares to search our favorite cards from the deck, adding consistency by acting as another name of any card you might be searching for. And then next, I'm playing 3 copies of Ground Xeno. Now, of course, it's an amazing card that provides destruction effect and gains access to our Xeno package to make Synchro XEs or fusion plays. Though it is a powerful card, I do agree it could be played at 2. Personally, I've had a hard time cutting the card, but I think it's always an option. Let me know what you guys think. 2 copies of Ground Xeno or 3? 3 might make more sense if you're playing more copies of Xeno Meteorus or more vanilla monsters, but I'm not sure. The package is small, so it's something you definitely kind of want to see. 2 copies of Double Evolution Pill. Of course, 2 copies is perfect, no more, no less. Very searchable from the deck. Many ways to do that. It helps us get access to our Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. We can often resolve this card twice, and the resource of a second copy helps us to follow up or put more pressure on the opponent. Next, our field spell options are 1 copy of Lost World and 1 copy of Dragonic Diagram. Lost World is just fantastic, draining the attack of all monsters that aren't dinosaurs. Token can be protected, and your opponent can't target anything but the token. Yeah, 2 very good cards for the deck. I'm still happy with playing 1 copy of each card. And finally, to round out the main deck is 1 copy of Polymerization and 1 copy of Called by the Grave. Poly is searchable with our copies of Kaito and we can often revive it when needed as well. Easy to access Hornsaurus or Gigantozauer in the extra deck. And Called by the Grave is one of the strongest cards in the game. The graveyard is so important to either player, and we want protection if our opponent tries to use hand traps. So that is it for the main deck. Like I said, it is 42 cards right now, but you can cut cards like Rex and Quatlis, maybe even the Kaiju. I'd like to run a Droplet in here, so these are all things I'm considering, but I'm having a lot of fun playing the deck right now as is, and I'm sure you would too. Now, the extra deck hasn't changed much since the last profile. For Fusion Monsters, I have 2 copies of Hornsaurus and 1 copy of Gigantozauer. Now, Hornsaurus places a field spell, being a level 6. It can be crucial to make rank 6 Xyz plays. I run 2 because I can make 2 of them in my for Lars in my main combo. Plus, it's good to have as an extra resource. Zauler is a beast with huge attack, and his destruction ability does come up, so I like having the option, as it definitely does come up. And then for rank 6s is 1 copy of Transcendosaurus Drillognathus and 1 copy of Volzar Lars. Drill is actually a really good card that can detach the special summoning banished dino like your copy of Misk. Plus, like the other Transcendosaurus monsters, it can revive itself by shuffling back a normal monster if it gets destroyed. Lars is an Omni-Negate that you can abuse twice per turn, and always try to end on it if you can. It helps you exhaust the resources of the opponent, and then to stomp over them next turn. And last of the XCs is 1 copy of Volzar Logia and 1 copy of Volzar Dolka. Logia is like a solemn judgment on legs. It can detach 2 materials to negate the summon or spell trap. And Dolka can negate up to 2 monster effects per turn. Now for the synchros, I play 1 Transcendosaurus Glaciosaurus and 1 copy of Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Changing. I don't often go into these, but it's nice options to have. Glaciosaurus can provide protection, and Changing is nice to make before banishing cards with your copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I think I might try to play the level 8 Dino Wrestler Spinosavate. I think he has a pretty good effect, if I can recall correctly, though I'd have to go pick myself up a coffee, so... For Link Monsters, I have a copy of Relinquished Anima and a copy of Crosssheep. Anima is great, especially if you're playing the Kaiju, as you can search it and use it with your copy of Archosaur. Worst case, it can be used with SP Little Knight, getting a non-dino engrave for a double evolution pill. And Cross Sheep is too good not to play, as we do a lot of fusing, Xyz, and synchro summoning, so we can abuse its effects. Last of the Link 2s, I have a copy of IP Masquerena and one copy of SP Little Knight. I don't think either of these two need any introduction, both very powerful meta staples, but that said, if you don't want to play them or you don't have them, you can fill these slots with pretty much anything else that you like. And finally, to round out the deck is one copy of Nightmare Unicorn and one copy of Transcendosaurus Exoraptor. Unicorn is good in combination with your copies of IP, shuffling back problematic cards on the opponent's field. Exoraptor is another card I'm testing with. It's easy to make, it extends from the hand, and 3000 attack is very nice to have. Plus, it can revive itself by shuffling back a normal monster. So that is it for the deck profile. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If there's anything you like or don't like, please leave me a comment telling me what you think. Be sure to like the video if you did and subscribe for more content. Thank you for your support. I'm SacredCards. See you all in the next one.